I love free associating. How about you? Today, helping a homeless gentleman, Frankie, across the road. The railroad tracks. His tent burned down, so Nancy's feeding some of the homeless, and I want to donate some stuff. So anyway, history, 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 past, present, future. Oh yeah. Okay, what I want to talk about is fun stuff, vintage stuff. Very vintage, I presume. Who said that? I don't know. But anyway, I like to get media copies somehow of my first demonstrations in the 60s. I got the newspaper articles for everything and books and stuff and papers and documents. Okay, so I was doing carbon arcs and balloons and stuff like that in the 60s, covered by CBC Canada. News story. It was a good day of adventures and a lot of fun, okay? How do I get footage of all this stuff? What do I do? Okay, next step up was Trudeau and gun control. I fought Trudeau, won her case, got all the machine guns back, set a precedence. My lawyer's still alive, R. Flynn Marr, remembers that very well, and a hell of a lot of media coverage. I have all the newspaper stuff, most of it, but there's a hell of a lot of footage taken at the time. 1977, 78, gun control. I won all my cases and all my machine guns and arms were returned, and there was an investigation by what they call the provincial ombudsman. My court case lasted, I think, 7 days. The judge was really pissed off, ordered everything returned, and said it was entrapment going against me and all that stuff. So all that footage is somewhere. Brings us up to 79, maybe, with encounters with Mel Winfield, filming photos. CBC Canada filmed a little bit. There was a single guy with a camera, as I remember. I don't think it's related to Michael McArdle, okay? Another journalist. Oh, going way back again, I would love to see my role in Channel 8 Dance Party. I won the Twist Championship. And okay, the names involved with Channel 8 Dance Party with TV show with my sister. They showed pictures of my cats as well, because we were winners and all that. It was Del Erickson, Buddy Clyde, Red Robinson, host of the show. The days of big cameras and a lot of lights, you know, a big red light on the camera come around, and we'd go every weekend, and my sister and I would go back home and watch ourselves dancing and doing our stuff. So that's how I know. Where the hell do I find footage of that? That'd be crazy. This must be archived somewhere. Okay, jumping up to Expo 86. Did they interview, I think they interviewed Mel Winfield in 79, and he was filming effects and stuff flying around the air. The CBC guy got kind of frustrated and took off, I think. So I remember. Billy Ross wrote a report on it. I have those papers. I have all the papers. People said and wrote. For some reason I have all that stuff. I don't know. I never threw it out. So it was that time frame. Next one I'm looking for, Expo 86. Psychic Fair in BC Place Stadium. I had a week of demonstrating every hour, high voltage and other crazy things. And somebody was responsible, and I can't remember his name, but I was at 560 Canby. Landlord who gave me free rent was Ken Hutchison. Hutchinson, not Hutchison. And the other guy, Art, I believe it's called Art, had influence with Expo 86. So that's a psychic fair. I had all this stuff from way up high. I actually could look down at the different fans and newscasters, and I remember seeing it on TV. So, psychic fair, I gave demos on the hour. It was because they're doing psychic readings. The energies, the psychic people didn't like it too much. So, but I did also interviews for radio, CKNW, CKLG, CKWX, as I recall, because they liked my voice. Could I do it within 1 minute? And I did. Advertising for Expo 86. Psychic Fair, come on down to the stadium. And how do I know it's a stadium? Well, because I got the papers on it. What other proof? Big air conditioning was in that place with huge, like massive foam things that filter the air. How do I know? Because I helped somebody remove them. Any other strange footage I should try and find? Let's think. I know I got the first television demonstration with that's a 85, I think. Toot toot toot. Heard that. With Alan Edwards. And there was a movie production team came down as well at that time. I have the papers on what they proposed. So a lot of footage that I like to see for the hell of it. It'd be interesting to see it, right? Right. See Johnny in the 60s and on TV and all that. So how do I go about finding that stuff? It's got to be archived. I don't think they'd throw it out, would they? Also, Thomas Lee Richardson, Tesla's friend. Close friend of Tesla's who would talk to Jack Webster all about Tesla. And Thomas, we'd hang out quite a bit together in those later years, 85, 86. Yeah, I saw him bring us huge piles of cassettes. He taped the interviews with Jack Webster. The Webster Talks, that's got to be archived, I'm sure. So I probably learned a lot from Thomas Lee and his stuff. Because I wrote a book on Tesla and made medallions and had a house full of papers. So that's a lot of stuff. I don't know how he got a hold of it, but when I met him, he's very old. Passed away in late 80s, I believe. We tried to rescue the stuff at Canta Realty on Granville Street. Said no, it's going to some individual in England. I remember that. I remember the British Columbia government saying, no, you can't really do this because I might have those papers too. But with Steve Turner with me, also a close friend who would drive Thomas Lee around. Not Bill McDonald, he was around too. It was Bill McDonald. Oh, I forget this guy's name. He worked at Amic Salvage too. He had a house on Victoria Street, okay, and had a garage where he did experiments. Why would I forget his name when talking now? I don't know. But we'd go to the scrapyard together and get these old style reel-to-reel computers and huge X-ray transformers. He had his mother, had a pickup truck, and quite a collection of stuff. And yeah, he loves the old stuff. He did his own experiments in his garage. Almost had his name there, but anyway. I wonder if he's still alive. I don't know. Did a number of shows with, which I have most of them. Michael McCardle, Global News. the apartment story and a number of times with Michael McCardle, as well as he covered the gun control stuff. And when they ordered the truck to be returned to 1458 East 29th, Mike McCardle was there with a beard. The first time I encountered Mike, and he probably forgets, because I did ask him, and I think he said he forgot. It was a brief thing, no truck showed up, so they filmed the next day. They wanted to film the RCMP handing me these machine guns and stuff like that. And other firearms, because the courtroom had about 7 or 8 machine guns on a table as an exhibit. Or the prosecutor, Don Selly. Don Selly was prosecutor, I believe. But my lawyer, R. Flynn Meyer, remembers. He's going to come visit sometime. He's in the cameras right now. But the footage stuff I'm after, if anybody knows where it is or how to retrieve it, would be cool. So I'm kind of waiting around for Frankie to come around and get his clothes. Nancy's washing his clothes and take off to the homeless across the railway tracks and say hello. Homeless people are quite interesting people, and Gordana and I spent a Christmas together outside on a park bench in New Westminster. I had a bit of a crush on Gordana, but she was kind of free and fancy-free, you know. Gordana Banana, we used to call each other anyway. Then the Iranian people, their Iranian store next to Dr. Danny's place was kind of interesting and hangout for folks. One was from Iran, a gentleman was from Iran, and the other was from Iraq. Refugees, actually, I said. Because I like cigarettes, smoking along with those guys, and talking about stuff, and they were talking about how they were tortured in Iran and all that stuff. So I'm wandering around in a circle here, talking. What else can I remember that worthy of digging up? Unfortunately, I can't get access to the government stuff. Canadian D&D and the USA DOD, but it's all classified or thrown in a file or somewhere. My stuff was presented to Congress last year by a congressman. I have it all in writing, so. Oh, I know I'm going to get some weird effects here, that's for sure. I know the stuff. And it has been replicated at York University by Stoylan. Sent me an email a couple of days ago. He's got a book out, it's on Amazon. So he replicated it. Like, it's always just talk, oh yeah, we don't know about John, maybe he's using magnets or other things. But that's just what people think. It's their business what they think, not my business to correct them. But anyway, moving along. Speaking of political stuff, it's pretty violent in the USA these days. Some character called Epstein and files and junk like that. And of course, Donald is nuts. Congressman told him to piss off. Congressman Schiff. But, you know, it's weird how they would elect a felon and pervert. If you want more information, YouTube search Charlie Angus, a member of Parliament in Canada, or Midas Touch Network, or Legal AF, or Glenn Kirshner. They're all lawyers and attorneys that put on YouTube videos every day about what's going on. It's pretty crazy. As the Donald put in power, kind of, I would think, mentally ill, psychopathic people. Christy, shot her dog, and she's had a facelift and wants to be a TV star, and it's totally a liar. And then the other guy, Homan or Hooman or something, he's a ranting lunatic, raving psychopath. They all are nuts. But anyway, that will settle into something someday, I suppose. I don't know. But anyway, that's a brief mention of some people. Okay, so the best way here on the news. The only person that seems to know was Trump himself, who wrote me a letter about coming on to his TV show. That's my other TV shows air all around the world. He wrote a letter wanting me to be on The Apprentice. No, it's not my world. No. I had to fill out a form, and which I still have, and flight details. But it's not my world. Come on. Me in a suit? I don't think so. With my hair and makeup, I look pretty hot, so. Yeah, right, John. Right out, Major. But anyway, so covering ancient history, which is kind of ancient, I guess. For myself, it's fun to see that stuff. Kind of like dance party was like American Bandstand, okay. It aired as far as it could go, and there's another show, which is on YouTube. It's called The Littlest Hobo, about a German Shepherd dog traveling, and that was filmed in Edgemont Village, North Vancouver, BC. Actually, the owner had 2 dogs who were trained, and my mother knew the owner pretty well because she'd go up to the, not British properties, but Highlands? Yeah, the Highlands. Highland Road. To visit the owner on something. And I saw them filming it too. They used, they had a hole with a mattress at the bottom of the hole, so the guy looks like he's falling off a cliff. And so that's my first exposure to, I guess, watching them film stuff. It's just intriguing how they do it. We're getting closer to big demonstrations of this thing. I'm going public. It's going to be interesting. Nancy, you're talking about a whole live feed. We'll see what happens. You never know. I might get electrocuted or blown up. Or there's a time dilation. Now, there's something going on in Ohio. It could be fake. I don't know. It's a lot of ruins they found and a sphere and all this weird energy stuff. Much like the Hutchison effect. I just saw the video last night. And they covered it quite in detail, too. Whether it's I don't know what, I double check, with news stories. And there is something there that I don't know. I checked again, and there's, I do that. Double check, because I think there is really some strange fake news or fake YouTube videos. Clickbait, they call it. I don't know. I know there's a lot of weird stuff. When I was in Egypt, I saw it actually in person, so I had never seen it covered. This huge artifacts they found and put in a big, many acres yard kind of thing. I guess the only witness to be in, and Who else? Two others. Forget their names. Yeah, I remember this. My friend Stan Rejic. Rejik. Stan and I rented 3744 East Hastings Street. Another lab setup. That's from there I moved to 560 Canby. Expo 86 time frame. Then to 13th Street and Kingsway. George Lissicase and Alexander Shereshevsky. Then I just threw the towel and went off to Germany. I was in Germany for a couple of years. It was a good experience. Also Austria was a guest of Dr. Peter Kokoschnig and Dr. Margarita Kokoschnig, who was Yin's sister. I got pictures too. Recently found them. That was quite an adventure. Roland, these articles that were written up in the magazine Esquire, I have those, but I never had them translated. They're all with scientific data on the metal samples as well. Never been translated. So the other country was Japan. That was, I think, a month and a half or something. Each time I have all that stuff, never been translated, so I don't know what it says. So, just, you know, when I got nothing to do sometimes, I like looking at history. Well, most of the time I'm quite busy. Like, with machinery or with electronic or high voltage stuff. I'm a busy hobbit. I should get slowly going here. I want to make this video. John, you look stupid. But anyway, I get rid of these things. Oh, anyway, so that's some of the history I'd like to see again. There's some of it. At least it'd be fun. I'd get a good laugh out of it. I love songs from the late 70s, all through the 80s to about 91. I get to play those on YouTube. So most of the time I spend on YouTube. I don't bother with Facebook. It's just Facebook is either like or a comment. So what? Or most of the time it's inbox me, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. Messenger. No, I'm not interested in typing crap. I hate typing shit, or even writing stuff. I loathe it. I really hate it. I memorize stuff. I get chastised by people saying, "Oh, John never kept notes." No, I never kept notes. Why would I keep a note for? That's totally stupid. I just memorize and do it that way. Shortcut. Like when I watch videos, shortcuts. Sometimes I just check the comments and get the answer right away without going through a big song and dance. The person I used to keep notes is Alex Pizarro and Hathaway and a few others. But to me, it's not that important. Others are, oh, when are we going to see the H effect again? Well, I don't know. Whenever I feel like it. Some of our government folks, but you know, you get these characters wanting this info or that information. Next thing you know, they want you to sign a contract or some stupid thing. No, screw that shit. I turned down a lot of contracts with a lot of people. No, no, no. I like my own little world, you know? Hans Adam, Prince Hans Adam, would have funded me if I went back to Toronto. It didn't interest me at all. Now, then there's Timmy Ventura and his group. No, I don't think so. If it's a major emergency or lives at stake, I would cooperate. But to me, it's like, no, I don't know. Actually, Timmy Ventura wanted me on this show, but I'm too wild to be on a show. Matthew tolerates me, but Timmy Ventura, no. I dress like this, act like this. He doesn't want me on the show. Although I found an email from him where he was had a problem years ago. No, I'm not going to mention it. Okay. He was trying to get my stuff in mid 2000 or something into the Pentagon. I have his letters. And this group come visit me and film stuff. And one of them filmed in, I think in 2006, a major event with the Age Effect stuff. Harold Burnt, but he's unfortunately passed away for some reason. I think a lot of people were filming in that time frame. Do I have all the TV shows? I don't know. Sometimes find them on YouTube. So, oh, I didn't know that. You know, it's kind of funny. So I should search again for Dance Party. Channel 8 Dance Party. Buddy Clyde, Del Erickson. But I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, Mel Ernest Winfield. Billy Ross, and I wondered why he's filming things floating in the air, you know. And he writes a book on it, or papers, or something. But he got in trouble. Trying to get money for it from Undersecretary to Henry Kissinger. So Pizarro, who I met later on, stopped all that. He presented my stuff to Hathaway's first International Energy Conference. Hathaway wrote all that out. Well, that's another one that's hidden away. Like the what's his name's files? Except I wasn't doing it as a criminal. It was Winfield was claiming it was his place and all the effects were his. Poor person, poor little Winfield. But if I didn't meet him, I'm not complaining. Everything happens for a reason. Oh, got to meet Andrea Puhart a long time ago. Plus many others, and it goes on and on and on and on. I think this will be an epic, long, boring talk for some people. All started out me wanting footage of my early adventures. Oh well. Need to get a good laugh sometimes when I look up my name. A hearty laugh. I always get the story all backwards, ass backwards, you know. But these days I'm having fun, as I mentioned in my engineering stuff. I like doing restoration. Got a good friend in Greenfield. He's crazy as I am, and he's an eBay seller, and that's cool. I gave him an original copy of promotional material from Star Trek. I got a whole box of it. Photographs from Paramount. From Mrs. Roddenberry's home, from Yin to myself. I have all this stuff. So anyway, I'm going to shut up and go and have a cigarette because I've been talking how long now? Too long. Now let's see, how would I get a billion views? Probably if I was naked and YouTube didn't take the video down, put in a program where it keeps it up for some years, probably get a, I don't know, maybe a million views, but I don't like doing that kind of stuff. Really not into doing that kind of crazy stuff, I don't think. I like joking around and being stupid and silly. God, I am stupid, by the way. I should know my stuff before tackling a project, really. So, but on Mr. Excel's brain, gear shifter stuff, I studied it very well before I operated on his brain. It was interesting because some people go to extreme lengths in making fantastic videos that I learned from. Doing, they call it a head rebuild. These priceless people go into extreme detail film. I imagine it takes them a long time to film when they're taking something apart or building something. They're very dedicated to very high quality videos, and I really like to thank the guy, YouTube guy, for a detailed description of everything I studied a number of times this video to know what I'm doing. I like those kind of videos, so because I don't know what I'm doing half the time, just walking around like this. Even studying Marconi wireless system. Like, wow, like I love to build one of those transmitters, which I know how to build it, but keep looking for somebody who actually built it. A wireless transmitter used on Titanic. A replica. Actually, a replica would probably sell, but you wouldn't be allowed to use it. It would interfere with FCC rules and regulations. Spark gap transmitter, very broadband, very noisy. But it's just cool. I have it maybe in this place and test it out because it's all metal. Anyway, I gotta shut up. Gotta get going. Whoops. Smile, John. Don't look so stupid with your mouth open. Don't be stupid. Parting shot, sitting in the sun. Oops, gotta get rid of that.